Bonjour, and you're very welcome to this week's edition of Cork County Matters here in Irish TV. I'm Pierce McCarthy. With a very continental feel to this week's show. We're down in East Cork in Whitegate, where they've just recently twinned with Pechaboo. And we're also going to nip into Mahon Point, where the Comic-Con convention has been featured outside of America for the first time. First, we're going to meet Eddie. He's chairman of the Twinning Committee. He's going to give us a little bit of history about Whitegate. Now known as the energy capital of Cork, but Whitegate's history goes back a lot longer than that.
Oh, it does. I suppose the first reference is about 1201. There was a family moved into Corkbeg. I think they were Stapleton, and from that on then, about 60 years later, the Condons, or the Contoon, moved in, and they owned the place until the Fitzgeralds came in about 1546, and the last of the Fitzgeralds left in 1930 when they sold Corkbeg.
Okay, so what kind of a community was Whitegate at that time? Was it a kind of a small fishing community, I believe?
Well, initially Whitegate started off, I suppose Whitegate developed from the workers' accommodation for people who work in the estate. Then in the early days, the two traditional tasks being done was rope making and crochet, two big industries, and then as well as that there's to harvest tusk and straw, and later on then there was a big fishing business going on. There were 6 boats employed full-time fishing for hake, mackerel and other fish. In 1930 then they sold the estate, and Prendergast in Cork, who ran the Arcadia ballroom, they converted the house into a hotel, and they had a beautiful ballroom with a glass front view out onto the bay. They sold it then to Major Colin, and the land was sold to Fernies, who live in Clyne now, some of the Fernie family, and finally then the place was sold in preparation for the building of the refinery, and the refinery was opened in 1959, sorry. 1959? 1959, yeah.
Okay, so I suppose Whitegate then has changed drastically then throughout the years.
Oh, I wish I was here to experience it, but you see, at the time when the Fernie had the farm, people used to get their milk, they'd go with their gallon for their milk and their potatoes and their apples and things like that. So all that changed practically overnight. Suddenly they were dependent on shops and things like that for their supply.
And then suddenly it became the energy capital. What was it like for the the Whitegate area with the refinery opening?
There were 2,000 people employed in it in its construction time, and somebody said that it took 2 hours for the traffic to get through morning and night.
Not much has changed.
No. And what happened then was, of course, that the local businesses, accommodation and things like that, people stayed locally, and they had their meals locally and things like that. And of course, they were well paid for their work, and they came from far and near. And that's what we have now, the tanks and the island and the plant up on top of the hill. And
so it was a very rich time, so I suppose, and a very financially gainful time for the area.
It was fantastic. Now the other outcome that came was the old road snaked around the harbour edge, and it was a narrow winding road. And when in the early days of the refinery, when I came in '61, they'd actually extended the quay wall out here, and they were filling in. The road was only a fraction of the width it is now, and it was extended, so there's a much better road to Cork and Middleton now.
However, the traffic is still as mental now as it was back then.
About 300 tankers a day pass. They operate 23 hours in every day.
Frightening.
There's a window between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, but initially it took some getting used to, and there were a few dips in the road, one on the approach to the village and another one just in front of the supermarket. And when the empty lorries would hit it, to get you to
I tell you, the Condons wouldn't be putting up with it.
No, indeed, no.
Thanks very much to Eddie in Whitegate. We'll be back down to East Cork a little later in the show, but for now we're here in Mahon Point for Cork's version of Comic-Con. Are you having a fun day at the convention?
I'm having a busy day, and that's a good thing. It's not that I thought it wasn't going to be busy, I just wasn't expected to just how much support it was going to get, you know. It was, yeah, it's been great and really encouraging. I think we're going to be seeing a few more of these down this neck of the woods, I think. Fantastic,
yeah. Well needed too. So yeah. Tell me, Nick, tell me a little bit about yourself, I suppose, and your drawing career, so to speak.
Well, I've been drawing professionally for the American comics industry for 10 years now. I started off with Transformers, it was my dream gig, and I landed it first, so I have to sort of work backwards. But since then I got to do a bit of work on Doctor Who and Ninja Turtles. Recently did some work for Marvel Comics last year on their Death's Head title and New Warriors. So I got to draw the Avengers in that, so that's a dream come true. You know, getting to draw Thor and Captain America and Iron Man doing their thing. And at the moment I've got a comic out called Monster Motors, which is about classic monsters if they were imagined as cars, and that's a comic by IDW Publishing, and it's written by Brian Lynch, who is writing the Minions movie that's coming out this summer, so he seems like a good guy to sort of attach your wagon to, you know. So
yeah, you're certainly hobnobbing with all the right people, do you know what I mean? Marvel, Minions, all this. What's that like? I mean, you're a regular guy, you're from Wexford, and now you're working with all these people. What's that like for you?
I guess it doesn't feel unusual because it's kind of just the job in some ways, you know. It's kind of but I know that I'm lucky. I know that I'm jammy. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like hard work to get here, and it's maybe even harder work to sort of stay in the business. But I also know the value of like getting up in the morning and doing something that you love and having it be the thing that puts a roof over your head.
One of the things certainly that strikes you when you read a graphic novel of today is it's not only the artwork, but it's the story and the writing of the story behind it. And I'm here with Darren, and Darren, you're one of these guys that's responsible for this.
Yeah, and I'm delighted to be in Cork today showcasing what we have, so it's great to get down here as a writer and show people what it's all about.
Tell me, how did you get into writing and writing for comic books? I mean, where did that come from? You're an Irish guy. These things happen in America, but not anymore. How did you get into it?
Well, I mean, I grew up doing drama and an avid reader as a kid, and I was always writing as a kid, and then as you get older you kind of put it to the side, but I was always writing but not doing anything with it. So 4 years now I'm writing professionally, and for the last 10 I've been writing scripts. So it was only 4 years ago I started putting them out there, and I came up with my first comic book, which is Tales from the Void here, which was a short story collection based on an homage to the Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone, that kind of style of book, and I put that out there. Then I entered a competition by the University of Dundee, which was a short writing competition, and I won the runner-up prize, and they flew me over and I got to meet Grant Morrison, who is probably the biggest name in writing. That's not Alan Moore, so the two of them would contest for the title, and since then I've been all in and kind of moved from bigger and better things each time.
Now I suppose, you know, you come up with an idea for a story, okay, but you don't draw yourself. So when you come up with the idea for the story, do you have it visualised in your head as the way you want it drawn, and then do you go and find the person? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, I'm a pretty visual thinker, so I think of the characterization, the story, the tones and themes that I want to get in, and then I sit down and I start plotting it out the same way a scriptwriter would do a movie, and then it basically sits there until we find the right artist for it. So if it's the right artist, it'll go straight over to them, and then they'll come up with the character designs and stuff. So I think more of mood than actual out and out visuals, and then it goes over to the artist who will come up with the X's and O's of how the character should look and how the world should look. But I come up with visually the tone, if you get me.
Okay, I'm loving this here, what I'm seeing. Who have we got here?
Gary McShane.
Hey Gary, how are you? Tell me this is amazing. It's like looking at a comic book. What are you drawing here?
Drawing Henry Cavill from Man of Steel, the film that was out there in 2010, I think, or 2012. So yeah, I'm just drawing a scene of that.
So tell me a little bit about your kind of, I suppose, your world of artistry. Is it Is it something you do for yourself? Are you kind of a self-produced artist in the cartoon comic world?
I would be. I do a good bit of this comic books style with the charcoal and stuff like that. And then myself and Brian over there were actually writing a comic book ourselves. So this is all part of it. Just get the experience of drawing comics, I think.
Do you want to give us a little insight? What's the comic book going to be about?
Well, the comic book itself it's kind of like a cross between Judge Dredd and I don't know, Escape from Los Angeles or something like that. It's a hard one to really pinpoint, to be honest, but yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what you're doing here. I suppose, what kind of work goes into doing something like this? Because for me, I'm useless at drawing now. So, you know, to do something like this, what kind of timeline are you thinking?
Oh, this would take this type of drawing would take, I'd say, about 12 hours usually, but because I'm in a shopping centre, I have to get it done as quickly as possible for the comic expo. So yeah, so I'm trying to do it in a quicker fashion, I suppose. But yeah, it would usually take about 12 hours or so, but I have a 7-hour time frame to get it done. And
then you got the public and the likes of me then coming along and bugging you and kind of breaking your run, I suppose.
That's all right. It's all good. As long as people are interested, that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Here we are. We have a Comic-Con convention in Cork. This is a big deal, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing, yeah, and hopefully more of them come along, like, so it'd be good to see it, like.
Okay, what a great first half we've had to the show, spending some time in Whitegate and here at the Comic-Con convention in Mahon Point. Coming up in the second half, more from the convention and then back down to East Cork. Now, if you have something you'd like us to cover, you can send us an email, cork@irishtv.ie. If you're a fan of social media, you can catch us on Facebook and Twitter. But before you go make that cup of tea, I've got a little brain teaser for you. Even this guy might know. Remember MacIver back in the 80s, that TV show? What's the connection between MacIver and Cork? You're very welcome back to the second part of the show. I'm feeling a little bit safe here. I got a stormtrooper by my side. So, did anybody manage to get the brain teaser? The link between MacIver and Cork? Well, Will Sliney, the guy who's responsible for this, in 2012 was responsible for 5 graphic novels of MacIver. Now, let's go back and find out a little bit more about comics. I found this guy. This is Michael
Carroll.
Judge Dredd. Michael,
right.
For those people out there who may be familiar with comics, tell us exactly who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Michael Carroll. I'm a writer. I write comics and I write novels. I'm here today mostly promoting the comics. I write Judge Dredd and a story called DeMarco P.I. for 2000 AD and Judge Dredd magazine, which looks like this.
Everybody recognises this.
Judge Dredd. And yeah, that's what I do, and that's how I make my living, even though I'm 49.
Hey, listen, you're as young as you feel, and you know
yeah, then I'm definitely 49. Yeah.
So tell me, what's it like working for these guys? What's it like being a writer for Judge Dredd?
It's fantastic. It's much harder than I thought it was going to be because Judge Dredd's been around since 1977. It's 38 years, and there's no continuity resets. I've got to know everything that's happened in 38 years. So for every 10 story ideas I have, 9 have been done, and the other one isn't any good. So it's tough, but it's tremendously exciting and really good fun. You get to work with some fantastic artists.
Absolutely, and it's kind of like a dream come true, really. Do you know what I mean?
Is, yeah.
You know, you're doing what you really want to do.
Well, I started reading 2008 from the first issue. I was almost 11, just about a week away from being 11 when the first issue came out, and it just blew me away. And now here I am, many years later, and it's what I do. But they pay me to do this, and I've actually earned back all the money I've spent on 2000 AD over the years.
They owed you
just
so,
about.
really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually ahead of the game. So to my mother, who always thought I was wasting my money with comics, I won.
I'm here with Jessica from the Emerald Garrison. You may be wondering who Jessica is dressed as. Well, if any of you have seen Aliens, she's the real tough cookie Vasquez. So Vasquez, how are you? Welcome to Cork.
Thank you, I'm fine.
So tell me, you're down here, what made you guys come down to Comic-Con convention here in Cork?
We're here basically to show our support for Will Sliney. He's been a long-time supporter of the Emerald Garrison. He's been to some of our events, and this is kind of a thank you to him for all the support he's shown us.
Okay, are you a comic book fan yourself? You must be.
I'm getting into comics recently, yeah, definitely.
So tell me the outfit, Vasquez. Why Vasquez? Why Aliens?
I like Aliens, and we had a couple other Colonial Marines in the club, and I was looking around at costumes. You watch the movie, and you have to do Vasquez. I mean, She's tough.
Extremely
Yeah.
tough.
And, well, the only girl.
That's
So I had
true.
to-
Well, Paris to Gurney Weaver.
Yeah. It was a debate. It was a debate between Ripley, but I settled on Vasquez.
It's got to be Vasquez.
Yeah.
And it's a wig. That's not your real hair.
That's a wig, yeah.
Oh my God. Frightening, frightening. Listen, enjoy your stay in Cork and see any aliens, blast them.
Definitely. Thank you.
I'm here with Izzy, a freelance fantasy and sci-fi illustrator. Welcome to Cork. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Very good. So, do you want to tell me a little bit about your work, who you work for, a little bit about, you know, what got you into drawing in the first place?
Well, most of this is my own stuff. You know, I just do it on my own accord. I do banners and stuff for websites, or although I can do commercial work. But what got me into doing it is just looking at nature. That's what inspires me the most, I think. Yeah.
Sci-fi. Why sci-fi?
I've got a huge thing for robots, and I don't know why. They're just so cool.
And have you any comics out yourself at the minute, or is it just all kind of illustrations that you do?
At the moment, I've got just illustrations, but I am working on a comic at the moment, and I have a little promoter thing over there. It's called Fuzzy Blue Likes. It won't be out for another little while, but I have a blog that you can check out, and all the updates will be there. So.
Okay, Will, fantastic day here in Mahon Point.
Unbelievable. I can't get over the amount of people that have come around for. Like, it's outstanding, but it just shows there's a big market for this kind of stuff here, I guess, and the support, like, you know, so.
And what's the story with the queue? You are like a superstar here.
I think it's just Cork people looking after their own. You can hear my voice is nearly gone from talking to people all day, but no, it's overwhelming, totally overwhelming. Like,
It must be very bittersweet for you, because I remember you mentioning before that you went to Comic-Con in San Diego.
Yeah.
And they told you, go away, you're not good enough. And here it is now, here you are with a Comic-Con convention here in Mahon Point.
The whole point behind it was trying to get something that was on in Cork for the people here to actually to see this kind of stuff going on, like, you know, so I'm absolutely thrilled that we're able to do something like that here, and that people are able to come along and bring their portfolios here and things like that as well.
Now, have you had many budding artists come here today?
Loads. It's great to see that, like, you know, but not only are there like people coming up with portfolios, there's all these new independent Irish publishers that are setting up and producing their own comic books, which is great. And like there's every type of artist here as well from every type of company, so it's perfect to meet whoever you want as well. So it's been a great day.
First of many?
I'm gonna relax now after organising this one with the this was all thanks to the Big Bang lads as well, like, you know, and it was their whole idea, like, so if they're up for more, then I'm sure we definitely do it. Like, with this kind of reaction, you couldn't say no, like, you know.
And I'm not going to hold you for much longer, because listen, everybody wants a piece. It's kind of nice in your hometown, isn't it?
I'll never forget this. Like, it's brilliant. Like, I've done them all over the world. Like, we're getting to do one inside in Cork now. It's phenomenal. It's really, really, really.
And going forward, you busy yourself?
Definitely, yeah. More like I've fully booked up at Marvel now the whole time, and I kind of know where my future's going inside there as well, and it's exactly what I was hoping for. So I'm delighted.
Wow, I'm feeling 15 again, but it's okay. Me and Martin forever immortalised as superheroes, thanks to Will and all the gang here at Comic-Con down in Mahon Point. Now we're going to head back down to East Cork. We've taken a quick step here into Trabolgan Holiday Village. It might be famous to you for somewhere where you brought your kids and got thrown into the swimming pool, but we've certainly got a very continental feel about Trabolgan this week. I'm joined by some people from the beautiful town of Pechabou in France, close to Toulouse. A very good morning to you all. You're very welcome to Cork, the capital of Ireland. We have the mayor from Pechabou. How are you, sir?
Very well, very well.
So could you tell us why you're here in the Whitegate area of Cork?
Alors nous sommes à Whitegate car c'est le résultat d'un jumelage que nous avons fait avec notre ami Martin il y a 6 mois, et on est venu donc concrétiser ce jumelage.
So, twinning with Whitegate. Why Whitegate? Why did you pick this beautiful little town in East Cork?
Alors Whitegate parce qu'à Pechabou nous avons la chance d'avoir une Irlandaise qui est venue vivre dans notre village. Et grâce à elle, nous avons pu avoir les contacts à Whitegate, et c'est à partir de là que le jumelage s'est développé.
So I suppose there's a little bit of Cork culture over in Pechabou then.
Ah, j'espère, oui. Oui, bien sûr, oui. Dans notre village, c'est grâce à elle qu'on a, depuis 1 an et demi, fait beaucoup de manifestations pour apprendre à notre village toutes les traditions et cultures irlandaises.
Martin, the community mayor of Whitegate, this is a big deal, isn't it?
Well, it was a very big undertaking, and I suppose really in East Cork here in Trebolgan and Whitegate, it's a great honour to be twinned with such a lovely village in Pechabou, and I see a direction here that we will be having a lot more of our French visitors come to this lovely facility here in East Cork, and we are enjoying the great sunny weather here, and they brought beautiful weather with them to start this official twinning.
What are the kind of positives for the Whitegate area to be twinned with a French town?
Well, for tourism, it will be a big boost. We already have links through Cork Port of Brittany ferries, and you know our history goes back with France as well during the Napoleonic Wars, and you know it's only fitting that we should be twinned with some village in France, and I'm delighted that we have a very strong link now here. I look upon them as families, and as time goes on, residents in this area, their children will correspond and they will do exchange visits, and the love of the French language. It's a very mellow language. Unfortunately, I still trying to get around kind of it, but you know, it has a very big knock-on effect for the community of Whitegate and Aheda, that I foresee that this will be a major tourism event here, and people coming to visit the centre, and also their children will be doing exchanges in the future to Pechabou.
Okay, we've got some other people here from France who've been here for the week. So, how's your week been?
Yes, one question. On nous a dit qu'en Irlande, il pleuvait beaucoup. But ça fait 5 jours que nous sommes ici avec le soleil. Est-ce que c'est une légende?
No, trust me, it's not legend. What's going to be legendary is the sunny weather that we've had for 5 days. Don't worry, the Irish summer will kick back in. When you reflect on your week, what was the thing that stands out the most for you?
L'amitié irlandaise, les gens chaleureux. Mais je peux vous dire qu'on est venu, mais on a bien participé, on a bien goûté les produits locaux, que ce soit la bière ou le whisky.
Well, what an amazing bunch of people from Pechabou in the south of France, just recently twinned with Whitegate. They certainly have a sense of humour that is befitting to Cork. And what about the Whitegate community? Very evident how close they are and the strong links that they have in making this happen. What about Will Sliney? What a legend. What a Cork legend. Over 30 artists in Mahon Point today. Emerald Garrison, all there to support Will. Yes, you, one of our own. Now, if you have an event that you'd like us to cover, you can send us an email, cork@irishtv.ie. If you're a fan of social media, you can contact us on Facebook and Twitter. But until next time, from me to you, slán go fóill.